Hello my friends, my name is Rich and welcome to Greatest Rock and Metal. On Greatest Rock and Metal I talk about what are for me the greatest rock albums, bands, gigs of all time, based on listening to thousands of albums and going to hundreds of gigs over many years. Please press the red button to subscribe to the channel. It's free, it's easy to do, it will only take a few seconds of your time. Thank you very much. Today, inspired by this album here, which I'll show you in a couple of seconds, I have decided to rank the albums, the studio albums of the band Mötley Crüe. Those of you Crüe heads out there will know that this year there's 40th anniversary celebrations going on since the formation of the band way back in 1981. And as part of the celebrations, this album was re-released. This is Mötley Crüe's greatest hits. It's a fantastic vinyl version of this. It's gatefold, double album. There's the back cover there, and inside you will see, I'm going to come on to that in a minute. That's just shows you the album covers for the discography of the Crüe, and inside it has been pressed on a beautiful looking crimson red marbled vinyl. Very, very nice, and it sounds fantastic too. Like I say, double album, and it's got what would be considered, as it says, their greatest hits. Yes, Mötley Crüe did have some big singles. There's the other insert there with some blurb. So you've got tracks on here like, of course, Shout at the Devil, Looks Like Kill, Smoking in the Boys' Room, Home Sweet Home, Wild Side Go Go Goes, Feel Good, Kickstart My Heart. The only thing I say about the track listing for this album, only one song from the debut album. And you've got a few of the newer songs on there as well. Now I just want to quickly go back to this before I start my rankings. Those of you who are into Mötley Crüe will notice that not all the studio albums are represented, and this is one thing that some fans have commented on about all these 40th anniversary celebrations. There's lots of merchandise that's been presented as part of the celebrations, but interestingly, 2 albums are absent on all of these things, and they're the albums Mötley Crüe and New Tattoo. Why? Well, the album Mötley Crüe did not feature original vocalist Vince Neil, and the New Tattoo album did not feature original drummer Tommy Lee. So they kind of been almost discarded from the discography, so to speak. But I'm going to go through the whole studio discography and give you my rankings. So let's kick it off then. At number 9 at the bottom is this album, Generation Swine. From 1997, this was an album when the band got back together with Vince Neil after he left for a little while. And they tried to, or they did, change their sound, very much so. Now, they changed their sound before on a previous album, and we'll talk about that when we get to it, but this sound, they tried to incorporate more of an industrial-ish type of sound. that Tommy Lee was very much into. Tommy Lee always seems to be the driver to take Crüe into new musical areas. Now that's not always a bad thing, but one of the things about Mötley Crüe is for me is that they are what they are. They're in my mind a rock and roll party band, and when they try and go in these other areas, they don't always work. And Generation Swine is an example of an album that it just does not work. The industrial style of music and the distorted-ish vocals, and just not for me. Having said that, there's a couple of good songs on here. I would recommend the opening track, Find Myself, and also a song that became a single for them, Afraid. But other than that, to be honest, there isn't much in there for me. Okay, the next album I will choose at number 8 is New Tattoo. This was released as the follow-up to Generation Swine. This was in 2000, and this was back to the Crüe sound that we know and love. But also, as I mentioned before, it was an album without Tommy Lee on drums. I think it was Randy Castillo, if I remember correctly, who played the drums on this, who'd previously had 10 years with the likes of Ozzy Osbourne. I hope I've got that correct. Sorry if I haven't. And this is a good album. And in fact, as far as I'm concerned now, we get Generation Swine, just forget it for me. Now we get into the rest of the discography, which I can enjoy throughout without any shadow of a doubt. And this is a strong album, a good return to form without any shadow of a doubt. And a couple of tracks I would choose from this. The opening track, Hell on High Heels, a great typical Mötley Crüe type of song, saying about girls again, and also the track that's quite a bit more in the middle of the CD, First Band on the Moon, which I think is a really good track as well. So at number 8, New Tattoo. Next one on the list is, at number 7, Theatre of Pain. Now, this is an album that really does divide opinions amongst Mötley Crüe fans. This, the tour, the Theatre of Pain tour, was the first tour that I saw Mötley on in the UK, and it blew me away. It was a fantastic gig at the Manchester Apollo, and wow, even to this day I remember the tilting drum riser and their glam image. It was a fantastic tour, and at the time I really enjoyed the album as well. But as time has moved on, it's just not got that consistency of great songs across the whole album. But it still does have some great tracks on there. A couple of tracks that I would choose. The opening track again, City Boy Blues, I think it's a really, really good song, and I'm surprised that they don't sneak an extra track from Theatre of Pain into their more recent set lists, tours that they've done, because you can see often how strong an album is by how many songs a band picks from that album to include in their set list. And Crüe have only really had 2 songs that have been consistently in their set list from this album, and that's Smoking in the Boys' Room and Home Sweet Home. And Home Sweet Home is my second pick. Of all the power ballads that were done in the 80s, for me, Home Sweet Home is one of the cream of the crop. It's a brilliant constructed song. The video is fantastic as well, and even today I can listen to Home Sweet Home. And I've said before, I'm not a big ballad fan, but this one is really great. I just want to mention Smoking in the Boys' Room as well. Again, at the time, it was a track that, yeah, that's a pretty good song. I can't stand it today. It really, I have to say, Mötley Crüe have done a lot of cover songs in their career, and none of them work for me. I don't know why. Mötley are just, in my opinion, not a great band at doing cover songs. What do you think about that? One of their most recent ones, the disaster that was Madonna's Like a Virgin. I cannot stand it. But there you go, Theatre of Pain at number 7. Number 6, Saints of Los Angeles. From 2008. It had been a while, been 8 years since their last studio album, and it was brilliant to get a new studio album from them, and what a cracker it was. Some great songs on here. My cream of the crop are the title track itself, Saints of Los Angeles, which is a brilliant track live. It's got a great gang vocal chorus to it, and also the track Motherfucker of the Year. I think it's a great track as well. Some really strong songs on here, well produced album. I like the artwork as well, and well deserving of its 6th place in the ranking. It's not in my top 5 for one reason: the lyrics. Pretty much all of the lyrics are telling the like a history of Mötley Crüe, and they're a bit naff in parts, the lyrics on this. Now, don't get me wrong, Mötley Crüe are not a poet's band, but there's just something about the lyrics that doesn't grab me. Constantly hearing a bit of a story about their history, it just doesn't work for me. But musically, I think it's fantastic. Okay, let's take a little bit of a break and have a look at Rock T-shirts by the Sea. Okay, at number 5 is the album simply titled Mötley Crüe. Well, a lot to say about this album. Released in 1994, this album was a real change for Mötley Crüe in many ways. First, it brought in a new singer. Vince Neil had gone, and in comes a guy by the name of John Corabi, a brilliant vocalist, guitar player, songwriter, and he does an amazing job on this album. It's a brilliant album. It's got lots of great songs on it, but it sounds nothing like the Mötley Crüe that we had grown up to love. It was a real shock to the system, and it came at a time when music was undergoing a vast change, or within rock music anyway. We'd seen the likes of Pearl Jam and Nirvana, the so-called grunge bands, really rewriting the rule book of rock music, and the glam and the hair bands like Mötley Crüe had really found it difficult to keep their high places in the echelons of rock and metal music. So Mötley had kind of suffered a double whammy at this time, losing their iconic singer and frontman of the band, and also their musical style becoming to be seen as outdated. But this was a fantastic album. It just got lost in the ether of what was happening at this particular time, and it's such a shame, because really strong song. But don't think of it as a Mötley Crüe album. It's way out there, similar to Generation Swine. Those two albums really stick out as very different from the typical Mötley sound. The difference is here, Generation Swine did not have many good songs on it. This is full of brilliantly constructed songs. My two favourites, the opening track, Power to the Music, really strong opener, but the real standout song, and it was a song that was chosen as a single, Hooligan's Holiday. Brilliant track. And the production on this album as well sounds fantastic. The guitars, the drums, the bass, the vocals, all of these things sound really good. Great album. And number 4. Let's have a look at a bit of vinyl, shall we? At number 4, Girls. This is a 30th anniversary vinyl issue that was released in, let's have a look, faithful reproduction of the artwork. I had the original vinyl of this back in the day, and look at this, blue and black marble effect, very nice, fits in nicely with the inner sleeve colour design there, nice. And it's a nice album as well. It's more than a nice album, it's a great album. And it starts with what for me are the best 2 tracks on here, the 1-2 punch of Wild Side and Girls. 2 absolutely fantastic songs. The song Girls, probably, in my opinion, the song for which Mötley Crüe are most well known. It's got that iconic video with it as well. Great sing-along song. And going back to Wild Side a minute, the pounding bass and drums on Wild Side give it a great rhythm. But really full of great songs on here. The only thing, again, I mentioned cover songs before. Right at the end of the album, they put a live version of Jailhouse Rock on here, which live, it kind of worked okay. But here, not for me. Again, a cover version that could have easily been left off. It'd have been nice to have another original song on there. And it might, with a better original on there, it might have pushed it maybe 1 space up the rankings. Maybe. So, number 4, Girls. At number 3, it's the debut album, Too Fast for Love. Great debut. There's 2 versions of this album. There's the original mix, and then there's the mix that was mostly distributed when Mötley signed a major record deal. There's a box set up here, Mötley's Music to Crash Your Car To. That's got both of the mixes of the debut album on it. Love this album. Not a bad track on here. It's a great album. Sound wise, it's a bit of an unusual sound when you first hear it, and this is the heights of Vince's vocals. He's got his Geddy Lee range on. Way up my love, it's overdrive. Very high range of Vince on here, but it really great songs on this album. The 2 favourites for me will be Piece of Your Action, Get a Piece of Your Action, and the title track, Too Fast for Love. And in fact, I prefer the original mix of Too Fast for Love. It starts with just Vince kind of singing very slowly, and before the big riff kicks in, and check out the original mix of Too Fast for Love. Really, really good. So that's number 3. Number 2 is Shout at the Devil. Again, another brilliant, brilliant album. Vinyl version is a must for this. This is a reissued version again. Again, I had the original and it's a faithful reproduction, and this is why it's a must. Check that out. I stared at that gatefold for hours and hours as a kid. Absolutely loved it. This is a coloured vinyl release. I can't remember if it's any kind of anniversary one. It's just a clear kind of red effect, blood red vinyl. And we have that pentagram there. Shout at the Devil era, Mötley Crüe, all of the image and the songs and the videos. It was a fantastic time to be a rock and metal fan when this was released in 1983. Great album, not a bad track on here. Very, very difficult to just pick my favourite 2 from this because it's just full of absolute crackers. Of course, I've got to go with the iconic title track, Shout at the Devil, as one of my favourites. And the other one that I will go for is Looks That Kill. Again, another video that I used to watch over and over again when it would come on the music TV channels. And great sing-along song, Looks That Kill. Really, really brilliant album, and was very, very close to being my number 1. But, as you'd have worked out by now, my number 1 is Dr. Feelgood. Brilliant album, front to back again, not a bad track on here. This was released in 1989. The one thing that just pips it for me above Shout at the Devil is the sound of the album. It's got a monstrous sound on it. Metallica's Black Album was produced by a man called Bob Rock. Bob Rock produced this album as well, and I think I am right in saying that when Metallica heard the sound of this, it was one of the reasons why they wanted to choose Bob Rock for the Black Album. It's just a monster sound. Sounds absolutely brilliant. The songwriting throughout is amazing. It's full of singles, and there were a lot taken from it. My favourite 2 tracks is, without a doubt, Kickstart My Heart. Phenomenal song. You've got brilliant guitar intro from Mick Mars. Great chorus. Probably my favourite Mötley Crüe song. Now, before, when I talked about Girls, 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 I said that probably their most famous one. But I think Kickstart My Heart is probably my favourite Mötley Crüe song. I just love it. Real driving track. And the other one I really like, Same Old Situation, SOS. Not only do I love the song, I think the lyrics on Same Old Situation are great as well. And what an album, what an absolute classic album. All rock and metal fans should have this in their collection. So, there you have it. That is my thoughts on Mötley Crüe's discography. Let's, as a celebration, take another look at rock t-shirts by the sea. Hey! Girls, girls, girls. There you have it. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed that. Please comment below on what you think of my ranking and what your ranking would be as well. And who knows, we might even get yet another Mötley Crüe studio album in the future, given that the end did not last very long and that they're going to be probably back next year. Please press the red button to subscribe to the channel. It's free, it's easy to do, and until next time, remember, as always, we rock!